Welcome everyone who's just joined. I was just referring to the agenda to what we are going to do today, but don't worry. Now that you'll be surprised. It's going to be even better for you with each of the topics and what we are going to be diving deeper into. Starting out, Jan, I think you have the first topic of the day for today. Welcome and go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, I have actually two things. First, I would like to make a small sort of announcement and actually some homework for all the circles to do. Recently, Rafa and me were looking at some hourly sheets, and we saw some things we didn't quite understand or we didn't quite expect. So when we started the whole circle thing, we had this two rates. We said we want to have $10 across the board. But for a few tasks, it's okay to invoice $20 because they come with special responsibility. For instance, you have to push other circle members around and pull, etc. Now, maybe we haven't been completely clear in the definition of what goes for 10 and what goes for 20. And as a result of that, we saw that it seems like the $20 is increasing over time and is getting much more than we expected. We'll get back with data on this at a later moment. So we're analyzing that. We'll make some nice dashboard. Our analytics team, Edwin, is working on that. And then we'll have some clear data so that we exactly know where we are. Maybe there also have been a few instances of people that were invoicing hours that we thought, actually, it's not that clear to us what they actually did for those hours. Now, it's very important for deep funding to make sure that all these things are clear and that everybody is treated in the same way. So it's not just about increasing costs or anything. Actually, the main thing we want to achieve here is have fairness across the board. Make sure that everybody is compensated in a similar way based on the things that we are doing. So we were brainstorming a little bit about this. So at first, Raphael had some conversations with some of you and saying, well, this is not quite what we meant, but this is not something we want to do every month, and we don't want to police it. And also in the spirit of decentralization, we want to make the circles more accountable for what they're doing themselves. So on one hand, I expect some kind of limitations, some kind of restrictions, maybe budgets, maybe something else that we will create. But when we discussed it also with the focus group in general terms, we thought it would be best first to ask you and to give you the opportunity to rethink this whole system of rewards. So we started out with an hourly based system because before we do anything else, we need to know where we are and how much time is actually spent on work, right? So that's a good starting point. We can continue that, or we can have some other ways. The most important thing here is that we have a perception and also a reality of a fair share, that everybody who's working in the circles, all of you, get a fair share of the total spending that we do based on the work that you perform and maybe the output that you perform. So the invitation is for each circle separately with your circle members to think about, brainstorm about this week or something, or next week, maybe we'll talk about the schedule later. For our circle, what would be the best way to make sure that everybody gets compensated in the right way? Because I feel that maybe this will be a little bit different per circle. Some circles have very different dynamic than others. So as a first inventory, I would like to invite you to think about that and give that feedback. And we'll discuss that in the next call, either next week or the week after. We'll collect that feedback. We'll ask all of you to give your opinions on that. And last thing I want to say here, I'll post this also in the all channels so you can read it back later. But to give you some inspiration, there are different ways we can do it. So one way is we can continue the way we're doing it right now with this differentiated system, $10 and $20, but we will think about some guidelines and some restrictions to ensure that not all hours will be $20 over time. Another option would be not to have those restrictions and not to make it complex, but just go for a single flat fee hourly rate. Yet another way, the third way would be, and that might be, this is really specific, I think, for particular circles. If your work and your circle is relatively the same every month and the same distribution for different circle members, we could go for a flat fee per month. So every month you get this, and we expect you to do certain tasks. A fourth option could be, and that is quite radical, go for a task-based system. So do an inventory of all the tasks that are recurring in your circle, and then define for each of these tasks what the payments should be. And in that case, you don't need to time, you know, to track hours or whatever. It's just you did 3 of these tasks, so you get paid 3 times the amount that stands for it. The fifth option is any other feasible solution that you can think of. So we're open. We want to have this discussion with you. The main goal is fairness, give everybody a fair share. I believe this is a crucial success factor for deep funding going forward, that everybody feels that they get a fair share. And of course, we need to also manage the total spending and make sure that the spending is in line with the outputs, with the value and the growth of the program. If the program grows, if we're doing more useful things, or if we get more proposals in or whatever, more activities, then also the cost can go up. But if we keep doing what we're doing, then the cost shouldn't go up. So that's another perspective, but this is not primarily a cost, or not at all a cost-saving activity. This is to make sure that we treat everybody the same and that all of you are supporting the system and are okay with the system that we are creating. So, invitation to all of you. Think about it over the next days, next week. We don't want this discussion to be held for the rest of the year, if possible. So we'll have some stages there, and this is the first one. Any questions right now on this particular topic before I go to the actual topic of the deep funding structure and the Miro board that I want to share with you?
Questions or comments as well?
Comments?
Vanny, thank you.
Yeah,
Please.
can we just clarify where people are going to put the results of their deliberations? Are they going to post it somewhere, or are we going to have a doc for people to add stuff, or what?
I haven't thought this completely through, but I think the best way would be to let people present it in the next week's call or the week after, depending on the schedule. I'm not sure if writing it down will always give the right nuance. And then after that, we can maybe write it down in some way. So first have an open discussion, also to emphasize the fact that this is an open discussion. When you write it down, it feels like, oh, now I've written it down, and now for the rest of the year, this is what I have to stand by. But it's an invitation to brainstorm in an open discussion, and then we'll take it from there. Does everybody agree with that, or do you prefer another way, Ubio?
Yeah, just to know, this presentation, will it be made by the coordinators of each circle?
Yes.
Okay, just
Um, or whoever takes that role in the circle. You can determine, each circle can determine by themselves who will present it, but I think it would be best to have the voice of the circle heard because I think it's circle specific. And it would be good to already know that there is some consensus within the circle. And if there isn't, then it's also useful to tell that, say, well, half of us think it should be this, and the other half thinks, and we can't figure it out. That's also fine. Will be very exciting. This is an important thing for how we move forward together. So I'm looking forward to your input on this topic. Then, if there are no more questions,
Yeah.
then
Sorry, not a question, but are we expecting this? What the time frame here for this first inputs, and because we want to have this also with a dead due date, right, for the whole process.
that depends on your part, Raphael. You were presenting the health yearly cycle, and depending on
Okay.
where we land with that date, this will be the other one. So it will either be next week or the week after that we will have this discussion.
Yeah. And I have here in my list this question as well for everyone. So yeah.
So think about it, everybody, already. And if you have any questions later on at the end of this meeting or tomorrow, also in the all circles, feel free to ask anything, and we'll handle that. Alrighty, let me share my screen now because we have a lot of things to discuss here today. So let's move on. Right. So I'm not sure if this is big enough. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So in Zoom, I can also see my presentation, but in Google, I only see my screen and I don't see what you guys are seeing. So I hope this is a little bit clear. If not, then please shout. So this is what I discussed already last week in the town hall, because this is more open, whereas this is more internally focused. So it's more appropriate for the meeting of today. There was a reason why we created this. It's not because I thought, hey, let's make this diagram. The reason is that Raphael and me, Preza, that is, had a discussion. We're revisiting a discussion or a conversation that we're having. Hey, what is the best way to distribute our task? What shall we do, and what do you do, and what shall I do? And the beginning of the year is always a good moment to have such a conversation, and the Christmas time to think about it. So I started out with an Excel sheet, and then I figured, I'm a visual guy, I'd rather have this visualized. So what I did is create this diagram, and I think it has actually, it has a couple of purposes. It shows everybody, also people who are new to our program, all the things that we are doing. It is very easy with this diagram to explain what the main responsibilities of Raphael are and the main responsibilities of me are. I've been adding some circles here. And I will, so it's an idea of how circles and tasks relate, and also give some impression of future and emerging circles. Victor?
It's
Yeah,
not
I'm here.
it's not
Yeah.
Victor. We have the ambassador's account, which we don't know who it is. Please go
Who
ahead
are
and please.
Mr. Ambassadors? Please speak up now or be silent for the next 5 minutes.
Sorry about that. It's Chris, right? It was a mistake. Sorry.
Okay,
Please
no
continue.
problem, no problem.
No worries. It would be good. It would be good if you wanted to interrupt Jan. It's always good. Just
Well, yeah.
joking. Just joking, Jan. Don't take it seriously.
Oh, no, no,
Sometimes
no.
if
Actually, I
you
like being interrupted and have a more, not just sending, but more like an
yeah,
interaction.
conversation, right?
On the other hand, we have time. We have a packed agenda, as you said. So
Right.
I will publish this later, also in the all channels. I think it's probably appropriate to make a blog around this, or maybe publish this on our community website as well, so you can watch it in detail later. So maybe based on time, etc., it's better to go over this a bit quick and then make it more interactive. So what you see here is 5 important areas that we are working on deep funding. At the bottom, you have product. Product is the website, both websites, the operations platform, the reputation platform, Vault, voting portal, everything that we can wrap into a product, a thing that we built, a tool. At the very top, there is program design and development, I called it, if maybe we can think of a better way, but there's everything that is high level, like treasury management, contracts, legal, also strategy, new initiatives as related to that strategy. So I can zoom in here a little bit and then you can see it. So partnerships would be part of that. Financial forecasts, approvals, incorporation is possibly a theme in the coming weeks or months. So that's the high level management, if you want. Now, these are the things. Well, let me first continue. In the middle, you see 3 things. So there is community related things, our engagement with our community. There's funding, which is our core business, you could say, funding rounds, RFPs, hackathons, and other things in the future. And there's backend. That's backend automation. There is contract creation, our reporting, what I was just referring to. Budget management, which is something that will emerge over time. The health yearly circle reports that Raphael will talk about later, and so on. Now, very roughly speaking, if we talk about what is my core responsibility and what is Raphael's core responsibility as operations manager, Raphael is doing this, and I'm doing everything at the top and at the bottom. That is the rough thing. There are a few exceptions to the rule. For instance, Raphael is taking initiative with the AI review support tool, AI-based review support. So that is still there. Backend automation is a little bit of a mixed bag, I would say. Anything that I'm forgetting here, Raphael?
That we have here, no, most would be this one. Yeah, an AI review assistant, which
So
is this part.
yeah. So over time, what we will see, and we still need to figure that out a little bit, what works and not works not, is that I might be in fewer meetings. Not because I don't want to, not even because I don't have the time to be in the meetings, but because I think it's a proper thing to do. Because it's also a way of decentralizing, not being myself, the center thing of everything. But in this case, it will be Raphael, but also Raphael will try to decentralize it and give all the circles responsibility of their own. So that's the exercise. So I will try to remove myself for some of these weekly meetings, see if that works, if that works for me, if that works for the others, and basically give everybody a little bit more breathing space and some more responsibility and accountability. Believe me, this is very hard for me. I want to be in every meeting. I want to have an opinion on everything. So you can also call out to me, right? You can also say, Jan, is this still your responsibility? Shouldn't Raphael be doing this, or shouldn't this be the responsibility of the circle? Perfectly fine. Please keep reminding me on that. On the other hand, if you need me for anything or want me to be in a meeting or need my opinion, whatever, feel free. I will always try to make myself available for that. Then, so that's one view, responsibilities. The other view is the circle. So, what I would like to do with you in the remaining time of this part is go briefly over these circle things here. So, product circle. You see, some are dotted lines, some are regular lines. So the dotted are either emerging or not sure yet. So I'm thinking about creating something of a product circle, but not sure. Actually, I'm creating that is relevant. I'm creating a role of product owner for the portal website. So I'm writing a job description for that, and we will have it out on our website in a week or so, I hope. Also there to be a little bit more less attached myself and not being the single point of failure in this organization anymore. And also allowing this person to reach out to every one of you and do some stakeholder management and even go beyond our organization and see what other Web3 programs are doing, which is definitely something that I don't have time for. So that on the product side, but this needs to be discussed and decided further. So let's go to the middle here. I think this is pretty obvious. So we have three marketing related circles. We have the marketing circle, we have the event circle, and we have the developer outreach circle. Each of them is outgoing, engaging with the community, but in a little bit different way and with a little bit different focus. But together, these circles and then also the community hubs that we are aiming for will be able to cover the whole of the community and will also be more and more responsible for the community website and the content in the community website and also the features. So I hope and what I want these circles to do is to think about, hey, what else do we need on that website and starting to take ownership of that community website. Funding, the main portal will still be my responsibility and also the product development of that will be my responsibility, then helped with this product owner role. In terms of circles, we have the reviews and the community experts. It's quite a big circle. We'll see how that will develop. Here you see curriculum team. Those are three people. Actually, it's one FTE that are on one hand creating an AGI, Singularity Net AGI curriculum on university master level. On the other hand, we'll use that acquired knowledge to help and guide certain RFPs and projects within deep funding. And we'll also be connected to the community experts in the review circle. Awarded team here is dotted, not because it's emerging, but because it's drowning. It's not happening. It doesn't work yet. So we will park it. We will not continue it for the time being. But it's also an open invitation. If we would have a number of people from the community, from the awarded teams, coming together and they want to rethink and reinvent this circle, then very welcome. I think there's still plenty of opportunity there, but right now we haven't found the magic formula, so then it's better to stop it. Actually, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to start new circles, but it's also a good thing to stop things that don't work. That way we renew and we stay agile and energetic. For the back end, we have the operations and automation team. Still one team. Thought about once to have it separated, but this seems to work well. Now, and then comes the most important or most interesting thing here. Let me enlarge it a little bit. Hope it's still all on your screen like this. At the top of the program, so we have the focus group here. We have a work group, might become a circle, that is working on documentation. Very happy. This is really grassroots. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, all people who are in that work group. It's much needed. There's a lot to do. So we'll see how that will evolve. Related to this is also change management. The focus group has the ambition to be more involved in change management. So as the program or parts of the program become more stabilized and more mature, then changes will occur less frequently, but require more oversight and more governance. So that is a way of thinking about change management. And apart from that, the focus group is a very valued sparring partner for me and Raphael. So these things somehow are connected. And then this is the hardest one of all, financial governance. This is a desire from me, I would say, to have somewhere in the future, have some kind of circle that is involved, helps with financial governance. In the middle area, so we have very high level financial governance, which is done by the Eightfold Path, which will approve once or twice a year the total budget that we expect we need for deep funding. So that is funding rounds, the awards, but also the things that we need for our operations. This is also part of the health yearly reporting cycle that Raphael will address later. On the very low end, we are already mentioned, we want to give the circles more accountability. Maybe you'll get a budget, we'll see how what the best way is of governing that, but we want to give you as much accountability and control and agency over the things that happen within your circle. But there's something in the middle there. There can be new initiatives. There can be ad hoc things. There can be situations where a circle has requested and got approved a certain budget, but there are new things emerging, or the circle is suddenly growing, or whatever. Maybe we want to do an event another time. Who knows? All these kind of things are in the middle. And yeah, for these things, I think it would be helpful to have a kind of financial governance. Why is it hard? Because on the one hand, I want to have people there that know, have some intimacy with deep funding and the program, and know what's important and not important, and know the culture and etc. On the other hand, I want people that are unbiased and unpreferenced and that treat everybody and every circle and every request in the same way. And these things seem to be, at first sight at least, incompatible. So it's a puzzle. I haven't made it. Suggestions are very welcome. Might also be some things like we have 5 people from 5 different circles and then put them together whenever we have a question like that, and maybe they get together once in a month or something. The downside of that would be that then we are creating a de facto hierarchy, an extra level in deep funding. Maybe we need that at some time. Until now, I've tried to push that away, to have the decentralization in a really flat or actually very decentralized way. But we'll see. We'll see what will emerge and what comes out. Enough on that topic. Last thing is people. I'm very happy that we have recently added Monica to our program, and she's still exploring and talking and seeing what exactly the next steps will be. You'll hear more about that pretty soon. But basically, the whole people thing, you could see there are three stages. It starts with recruitment. So we have the forums on our portal, and that's quite successful. We get a few submissions every week. Um, Sophia, yes, I'll be with you in a minute. Um, so somebody needs to monitor that, and we need to have some continuous attention. Maybe sometimes Raphael and me don't always have time. We could do that directly, connected directly with the circles, but even then, somebody might apply to 5 different circles at the same time. So we probably need somebody who has some oversight there. Onboarding, if somebody is recruited and we want to have this person on the organization, we're growing in numbers. We're also growing in complexity. I already see that for the people that joined the last 3 to 6 months, it's not easy. It's not easy to get acquainted with all the formalisms and the informal rules and things that we have. So that is onboarding, and also get people knowledgeable about the culture, which is the third one. When people are onboarded, safeguarding culture in the organization. We have all these circles. We try to make them independent. That's great. But we don't want a siloed organization. We want people to talk to each other. We want to have a common culture. We want to have a common idea of who we are and what we do. Together, with all the individuality and personal preference, etc., that are also there. So that's a little bit of a balancing act as well. So these are all dotted because these are all emerging, and these are things that we are working on right now. Actually, analytics here, I didn't mention it. It's not dotted. We have 4 people now in the analytics circle, and I couldn't be happier. And next week or the week after, you will see one of their outcomes being the report on last year's tasks and payments and rates and all of that stuff. So, yeah, zooming out again, I think this is, if I may be so unmodest, a nice framework showcasing all the things that we're doing and that need some attention somehow, and how the circles relate to all these tasks. And yeah, maybe we'll keep it up to date. But for now, at least, it seems like a useful thing to have. That's all for me right now. Any questions? I remember suddenly that Sophia also put up her hand. Sophia, do you still have a question? So give me one moment, Monica, and then it's your turn.
No, not at all. I wanted to say
Okay.
you didn't talk about analytics. Yeah, but you already did.
Okay, didn't quite get that, but I understand that you don't have a question or a remark right now. So, yeah, I'll give the mic to Monica. Is it okay if I close this screen, Monica?
Yeah, and I don't have questions too. It's just invited for those people that want to join in this challenge of DF identity and culture, because it's a live culture. So we are going to have just an open space to co-create together and organize all of these moves to put more clarity about who is the founding and how we can relate better and make more connections and participations and engagement. And it's this. I just need to know you better and connect better with. So I have this group, I'm this work group, identity and culture. I invited in the chatmost. That's it. So it's there. So who wants to join, please be in touch that I will add in this workbook. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, what Monica said about the invite is in the All Circles channel in Mattermost. So you can go there, drop a message to her, and to be part if you want to be part and contribute to this effort, which is very important. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
and I
Monica.
need to, yeah, and I need to talk one by one, or the people who wants to know more about this. For me, it's important. So that's it. Keep inviting. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica, for raising your hand and speaking to us. Well, any questions for Monica or for Jan? Or should we move forward? I guess no questions. So I think you're next, right, Rafael?
Please, anyone
Yes.
mute me? Can anyone mute me because I don't see here? How can I?
Done. No worries.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Rafael. Yes, I think I am now. First, a huge shout to the event circle and everybody that was involved, because I can see here, and also the members, the circle members, that we reached, at least that I was following. Now we are in 39 people present attending this call, but we reached at least at 40. I saw it. Very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, Ugo, I saw 40 just before. So yeah, amazing. That shows not only the commitment of circle members, but also the effort of this event circle, which is bringing more people into and making the right awareness, informing and showing the need for of this type of meetings. Okay, thank you very much, guys.
I'll
I'm
just say
really
that
glad.
above all, it's a merit of the community. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for being present, for raising your hands, showing your faces, and we hope we just keep growing and seeing much more of you. Because if we want community, we need to be here in the events. We need to be here together, discuss important topics. So it's great to have you here, and we hope to see even more faces in the future. And thank you, Rafael, for the remark as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So jumping on some more things, Victor Mayer is reaching to you coordinators, the coordinators of circles, with a very important task that I asked him, which is to update our circle members list. I can't stress how this is important for not only for our operations, but also for us to understand even who we are, right? If we don't know how many people and who are well, the members that compose these circles, even to make the disbursement or rewards to you all, it's hard. So I will ask for mainly the coordinators to double the effort into collecting all the data that is needed from the members that are part of your circle, and share with Victor. He also shared in the all circles the request, so please do that. We need to update our system. I'm pretty sure we have discussed it here. I have shown our operation system already, and we need to keep this database up to date. One thing that we are discussing most recently is this need of making it a single source of truth, right? So ideally, we would have one point where we would update everyone that it is, or it's onboarding or offboarding our circles, and then everything would be directed to the right Mattermost channel, and then if we change the status, it would be offboarded from that channel, and etc. And also to automate the process on our internal payments, for instance, and other administrative tasks that are very important, okay? So yeah, please update Victor with your list of members. Okay, next topic would be about the half-yearly report. We are aiming, as it was also shared in Mattermost, all Circles channel, we are aiming for this 22nd of this month. It's important for us to have at the beginning of the year, right at the beginning of the half year, to have this report and check what was the main challenges and what was performed and done for the previous 6 months, and also the plans for the next 6 months. What each circle is willing to achieve in that process. It's basically the same that we had last time. We already distributed, Victor distributed the spreadsheet with the numbers for the past 6 months, financially speaking here, the costs and the investment on each circle. The difference that we need to have now, given the strategy that Jan aforementioned, is the budget for the next 6 months. What is the expected budget for your circle for the next 6 months? And then you can rely on the previous 6 months, given the spreadsheet, but you can also have this plan that you are going to make on what you want to achieve in these next 6 months as a source of information and insights for you to write this budget for the next 6 months. This is very important because it's going to be tied to our framework on budgetary structure for circles. We are changing a bit. Nowadays, currently we don't have a budget per se for each circle. We are going to discuss this more in a more deep format later, but we are going to work on this sense as well, or in this direction. Okay, so please, and actually not please yet, I would like to hear from you if next 22, which is 1 week from now, is time enough for you to deliver. It's a small presentation. It's going to be 10 minutes per circle of presentation. Oh, this is what we did. This is the challenges that we faced. This is what we are willing to do. And this is the budget. So it's something very quick. Of course, it's perhaps not that quick to make, but to present definitely. So I would like to hear from you. One context only is that we have an idea, we have the intention of by the end of January, beginning of February, to have a round. It might not be a regular round. We are discussing also another format, which is very good. Jan, if the case also you can disclose or not later, but it could overlap with this effort. If we give one more week, it can overlap the effort into that, and also with the request that Jan made about, hey, let's think about the reward system, right? So perhaps it's a lot of things if we keep postponing this. If we finish this half-year report on 22, next Wednesday, then we would be free to discuss further things, okay? So what do you think? Should we keep the 22 as the goal for having the half-yearly report, or should we postpone, considering your perspectives as circle members? Who is going to give? Yeah, Ayo, please.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Raphael. I think we should stay with 22 because we are entering a new year. The earlier we set that, the better. Yeah, so for that reason alone, we should sacrifice and see how to get it done.
Thank you, Ayo. Anyone
Rafa,
else?
I don't know what you think. Maybe you don't like that, but just as a simple idea, should we do a poll or a quiz, or is it better to hear the
Can
opinion
you
of?
do it? Can we do it now ongoing? And
I think I can
if
work on it while people give some feedback and comments. If you want me to, and
if
Jan
you
has his
manage,
hand down.
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, we have the time. I can easily fill that. I would like to make emphasize one thing here. So we're asking you for the first time to think about the budget that you need for a next period of 6 months, whenever that will start, or let's say the first half of 2025. For me, this is an exercise. We can deviate from that. We'll have our own thoughts of that. Maybe after 3 months, we'll see that it was completely wrong and we have to change it, and then we'll do it. So don't feel like this is this really heavy thing right now. What I'm aiming for is like what I mentioned before. We have this high level approval flow. I think that's important as an extra check and balance in our program, that we have this high level eightfold path directorship that will approve our budget once or twice a year. So therefore, we need to collect all that, and then we'll think about it ourselves a little bit. Maybe we'll add some spare budget there to make sure. And even there, if after 3 months we'll see something great comes along, we want to have an extra big super round, there will be ways to ask for additional budget. But it's part of the process and building in some checks and balances in this program. So I see this first time really as an exercise, getting used to the idea of thinking about a budget and seeing how it will work. And then maybe half year from now, next half year, it will already be a little bit more serious and realistic. And then maybe yet another part after that will be just part of life and we're used to that, etc. So if Raphael asks you in the next week to think about these things, the emphasis I would say is still on learnings and insights and ambitious. The numeric part is important, but not the most important one. And don't make this too heavy for yourself.
Yeah, and especially because not necessarily the budget that you bring, it will be the one that we are going to, well, to abide to, right? We have to discuss, understand, and so on. So yeah, it's to be light and joyful, not to be something heavy. Definitely. Thank you, Jan.
So
Okay,
the poll is ready whenever you guys want.
please, guys, go, go,
I,
go.
I, let me
Where is
see.
the?
I'm launching it now.
Okay, yeah, now you can.
I can't vote, but I guess we add one yes to the to the questions.
Well, it popped directly to me here, I believe for others as well. I didn't even open the poll.
Yeah, if somebody has problems with the poll, please tell me.
So I see this poll here, but I don't see how I can add. Or should I use the QR code?
It's because you're
You're
oh
opposed. I don't think you can vote.
Yes, I think that's
yeah, if you're
probably it.
Sorry?
it's because you're the host, Jan. Hosts and co-hosts can't vote in
I
polls.
can't vote. That's not
No, you cannot. No,
right.
can't
I'll let
be.
it go. I'll let it go.
All right. We have 25 answers right now, so I guess a few people still missing. Let's give a few more time for people to reflect. So far, we have a big majority saying yes, but we do have one no, and five abstain. Can you also see the poll, Jan? Like the results
I
or
read the results, yeah. So I was clicking on the
okay.
results, but nothing happened.
Yeah, we cannot vote. I guess it's me.
Actually, I was wondering, shall I vote or not? But I thought, well, let's just do it. But
We
interesting.
have 30 out of 35. I think we're just missing one person. I don't, you, me, AO, and Victor shouldn't be able to vote. So
Ubio, abstain would go with the wave, right? The yeah, Ubio asked
yeah,
what does abstain in this case imply. So
it would be more like if you're not sure, but you're okay with whatever the community decides, and you don't have a strong opinion, I guess. It's just not to force everyone to say either yes or no if they didn't want to.
good
So
call.
we already have the 31 people voting. We had 25 yes. Can I share the results? Let me see. Yes, I think I can. All right. Can everyone see the results?
Okay.
Good.
Yes. Yay.
Awesome. Uh, I don't know who said no, but if you want to defend your opinion, I think you might have a good reason or some kind of, I don't know, good reason. Just think about something we didn't thought about. Please feel free to share it if you feel comfortable to. If you don't, it's okay. I guess we'll follow the democracy.
Maybe for next time there could be a comment box or something so that the person doesn't have to like speak up in the meeting. It might be a bit awkward for them.
That's a great idea. It was just done on on a rush, so I didn't even thought
Yeah.
of it, to be honest.
It's a learning. It's a learning. Definitely, yes. Thank you. So, okay, so we
All right.
keep the 22nd of January. We are going to, so the event circle will invite you all to this half-yearly report call. And if you have any doubt on how to proceed, please reach to myself or Victor and request the documentation. We have the documentation on what to do, which was shared in the All Circles channel in Mattermost as well. Okay. Well, I was about to talk about another thing here, but I would like to connect this. As we grow, as we have more members, as we have more
Rafael,
circles.
sorry to interrupt you, but just before you get into another topic, there's a question from Vanny in the chat asking
Uh-huh.
if the reports are still just text-based or if we need to have a slide deck.
Slides,
Sorry, I don't
Danny.
know if I can come in. Hello, I don't know
Sorry.
if I can come in.
Yeah.
Regarding Vanny's question, I mentioned in the announcement that I made. Actually, I made the announcement in the coordinators channel, not the all circles per se, like
Okay.
Raphael was mentioning.
Mhm.
And I said it's possible to add PowerPoint presentation if you've got the time to do so. So yeah, you can make slides, but it's still very important for you to fill out these templates that I made. Just make a copy and fill them out. So you could present both your reports and then the slides on that day.
Yeah, we can do like when we do the all hands where you have the updates, you also put in the template, and then you can go through the template well with your topics and read it and show. The slides are good, yes, but no, it's not compulsory. Yeah, that's the point. Nice to have, let's put it, but it's not. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Vani.
Jan has
And
his
Bob.
hand up as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
any
quick. I
questions?
leave the whole formatting thing to you, but just one mention. I think last time we put also this report on the website, on the community website. That was textual based, if I remember correctly. And maybe we'll record the session, I don't know, and publish that. That's something to decide. But it would be good to have these reports also published on our website.
Yes. Some sort of documentation is actually it's needed. Okay, so about this, well, I lost track here. We were talking, yeah, sorry guys. Well, the fact is, as we grow the number of circles, we grow the number of members, we grow the number of proposers, stakeholders around the deep funding program, right? And this starts, and also subsequently, we also grow the number of processes that we have. So we are going to filter more and more and refine actually more and more our processes. And this can become overwhelming to many people, if not all people, right? Because how to do this, how to do that. For instance, the questions that we had here, it's some sort of instruction that the person has to have. And I myself feel sometimes in a situation where I have to repeat one, two, three, four times to different people the processes that are happening or that have to be done, and this also is not efficient, right? So we have now, as currently it's migrating with the documentation work group, but we have now the deep funding manual, which is Gitbook based. But only to have this is not enough. We have instructions there, we have step-by-steps for very few processes if we consider the whole. But what I am willing to bring here, and this will mostly involve marketing circle, onboarding circle as soon as it's established, and also the documentation work group should be involved in this as well. If it's going to become a circle or not, it's secondary in this case. A process of endo marketing or internal marketing, right? It's about internal education and also culture on what to do. And here at the All Circles, it's very important, or All Hands, it's very important to say, because you, even if you are not part of a circle, you have perhaps some things to do, some tasks to operate. Vote, for instance, in the round. So what do I have to have or do in order to vote, right? As a member of a circle, what I have to do initially. So the deep funding manual, it's aimed for that. We have again the work group, documentation work group. I received Olico's message. Sorry, Olico, I didn't have time to deep dive, but I saw that you guys also embraced this to give these instructions somehow and concatenate and perhaps goes to the circles and get and gather what are the processes for being described in an easy way to anyone to go there and read, right? And this goes now into something that, for instance, it's last month or two, it was problematic. It was a challenge, which is the payment system. As you know, we are automating a lot of processes to bring efficiency, but also to bring some clarity on what's going on and structure, right? And the payment system, some of you were using previous instructions as we're used to do, and then we changed the process, but we weren't able to educate everyone in this process. So that's the main reason to have this endo marketing as well. The way I see here, these three work group and circles would be good to take the lead, and we can discuss this further down the road on how to do the internal education. I am going to now give you the process on payment and how you should register and input your hours. So let me share my screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Could I have, please, Ayo, Victor,
Yes,
Cardozo?
you have it now.
Thank you. Let's start. Wait. Okay, so share here. Yeah. So this is the deep funding book, as is written there. We changed it to manual, deep funding manual. But here, for those that didn't see yet, we have separated by rows here and circles, so you can go directly into what you believe it's your need. Okay, you can click and read and see step by step of the process. For our case here, as members of Circle, mainly, I know some are not, we have this circles payments process, right? So here are the roles that are going to be involved, circle coordinators, circle members, and operation circle, which are going to be involved. So as you can see, click here, next step. You are seeing, right, my screen?
Yes, we
start
are
with
seeing the screen, but they are also requesting for the link. Do you think you can share it in the chat, Rafael, as
Yeah,
well
sure.
on it? Thank you.
Let me give the main one, and then you can navigate there. Absolutely. Where is the... And that's the type. For instance, initially, I had this as a pinned message with the link in Mattermost in the channel, but it's not efficient. It's not good enough. So we need to find ways, and we are going to use the community portal to be this point of interest here, and also for some parts the operation system. Okay. I'm not sure what I did here that I'm... Yeah, let's go. So coordinators have to collect wallet addresses from the circle members. As I mentioned, it is important to keep this list of members updated. So role and action, right? Pretty easy to follow. Individual circles activity list. So the circle member will create a copy of this template here. I think you can see the new page, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So here, quite simple, the date that you executed the task title, here's the type, 10 or 20. If you remember, Ian also reinforced it here, the $20 we are going to make to have a better structure given the task that it was passed to you and the homework, and then we are going to discuss. But try to refrain putting 20 to everything, right? As it should be more related to really hard tasks. Description of the task, hours spent, the status of your task here, and the total. Remembering that you have to create a copy, right, of this to work. And why this is important? Why this is important? Because as we automate, we need a format, a specific format, okay, for the system, for the bot to read and input. So with this template here that we just shared, we go to the next stage, which is also about the circle member to do. Submit your recorded activity list using this form. Let the meeting can. So the next form is this one here. The next step is to fill this form. You can go to operations, for instance, if you are a operation circle, name. If you don't see your name here, that's because the list is not updated. Again, that's why we need it updated. And yeah, Victor.
If you can hear me, but there is a little change in this process right now, and it's not going to be following this process anymore. And Rojo actually asked me to present this change right here and get your feedbacks.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if I can do that, because continuing with this will make people confused in a way.
Yeah, where is the change?
We have not documented it yet. Roger said I should present it here and get feedbacks, and then we could move forward from there.
Okay, if we are, but we are not certain about what's going to be, right? Because we are still on the feedback step, right?
I think so.
The process is going to change a little, but I think we are going forward with this from now. Like this new process I would like to present.
Yeah. Okay, let's do. Ideally, let's align this before, right? But okay, so let's jump into. Are you going to share screen?
Yeah, I will.
Also, please go ahead, Victor. And this was already also in the agenda, so that's great. And Rafael, just a quick question from Vanny and I guess from Duke. Vanny's asking if attending these town halls, these all lands, I mean,
It's
meetings is
paid.
paid.
It's
Uh,
paid.
and Duke also
However,
asked about the town halls.
meetings are paid, yes, if they are important, right? But we are establishing a framework that's going to be, again, discussed in this overall framework that we are building, which is from your total number of hours, only 20%, up to 20% will be can be addressed to meetings. Otherwise, we can fall in a situation where we have someone that goes to 10 hours of meetings and work 1 hour. So what's the point here, right? In a week, for instance. It's important for us to have this balance, right? So take this in account. We are going to, again, make this to create this framework more clear. But from now, you can consider that we are using already this 2080 for meetings and tasks. Bunny.
Can I just check on that, whether that applies across all the circles? Because, well, take, for example, the focus group. Our core work is meetings, isn't it?
Sure. We totally understand, and we are going to make this, and not only this, but even in a possible framework where the 2010 will be also a percentage, we can be more personalized to each circle, right? Of course, it has to have a reasoning or rationale behind, as you are making now, and then we can evaluate, of course, yes, and agree if the case, right? Absolutely, yes, Vani. Ayo.
Yeah, not a question. I just wanted to say that I want to acknowledge and appreciate the thought and a lot of things going into this.
Ayo is
Imagine.
sorry, but it's really hard to hear. It's very
Oh, okay. What
better,
about now? Is it better now?
better.
Okay, so I don't have a question. This is more of acknowledgement and appreciation for how much thought and thinking you are having to put into this from the DF standpoint. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Following the conversation, we can see how there's quite a lot of dynamics, and yet there still has to be, forward progress and then some balance. So thank you. Well done.
Yeah, thank you, Ayo. Yeah, a lot of things happening behind the curtains, all. So yeah, that's why all hands here is important in a way that we can share and get feedback as well. But we are running out of time. Victor, please, as quick as possible, okay?
I don't know if sorry. Am I very clear, please?
You're not super clear, no, in terms of voice and in terms of sound. Are you still there, Victor?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to see if I will get a fix.
Okay. You're trying to get it fixed. All right. I think we
You
can
are
see
cutting.
it too.
Please,
So
yeah,
am I clearer now?
now it's
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
now it's better.
Okay. Um, so
Now you are.
what Rojo actually thought about was we need to have like a single sheet for each members of circles, right? And this single sheet now is just going to be two tabs where members of circles record their activities in right here. Sorry, I had to cover this with black with something because there was actually stumbled. This is like someone's copy, so I had to just cover it like this. So in this particular row, you write your circle, the circle in which you are trying to record, and then the task that you're making, and then the type and description, hours spent, and status. Um, I want to say that this particular format is for every circle because I know that dev outreach circle and marketing circle are using a different format from this format. So from January, it is mandatory that every circle uses this particular format of sheets, right? Um, because of the automation that we're actually making, or because of the automation that Roger is working on. And firstly, this is one of the reasons too why we need everyone's information from the circles, both your circles member list and then their email addresses, because each of these sheets we are going to lock it in a way that as a circle member, you will be able to fill in this particular tab, and only your coordinator gets to audit this part of the tab in that particular sheet. So for example, let's say this is my tax sheet. I am not a coordinator, for example, and I record my tax here for each of the circles I belong in. So if I belong in event circle, I write events or operations or bids, any circle that you are in. And at the end of the month, I get to reach out to my coordinator and he comes to the tab here and clicks audit, right? So if he changes this false to true, it's automatically reflected in the database for payments. Now, the thing here with this sheet is why this sheet is very important to us is because after these tax are being paid, the sheet automatically becomes empty. So for every month that you get paid, you lose what is written on that sheet. Immediately it's paid and it's being updated in the database. You look what is you lose what is on that data on that sheet, right? And sorry, I don't know if I'm having background sound, but I'm trying to minimize it. So yeah, you lose what is on that data sheet,
Victor,
and
you
then
have
you can
the,
fill
sorry,
in your
Victor,
new payment for the next month, right? That's how it
Victor,
works. And
you have the two
yeah, this is
accounts.
the new process that we are working on.
You have the two mics open. Close one, please, or else it's like
Yeah. So
there's a
and yeah,
difference.
thank you, Rafael. Victor, thank you. So let me jump in here. This is what Rojo showed me in the last operations call, even though it wasn't live yet, but it was about to, where we are streamlining the automation here to facilitate coordinators role, also members, right? And especially to make the automation again more streamlined and connected to Mattermost with the notifications. What's going to happen here? Victor, go and update the deep funding book with the instructions for this here, okay? And then we are going to do the right education to all the members. Again, documentation work group, perhaps, marketing, and in this case, not too much onboarding, but this instruction process to everyone, okay? To be clear. But yes, it was through a process that we were discussing already, and I'm glad to see that this is already being put in operation because it's going to improve. I have, for instance, Judith mentioned it to me before. Hey, yeah, it's a lot to do one by one here. Will take a lot of time. So perhaps distributing among the two coordinators would reduce the workload. But this way here, it's going to be very streamlined. Okay, that's very good news, actually. So everyone, about the updating the task system, we are going to go create the step-by-step process instructions, and then as soon as possible, have this shared with you all. Okay, thank you. Yeah, one last topic from my side is I shared in the coordinators channel the application spreadsheet where we get from the community portal, right? Members of the community or even outsider that are from outside of the community go and make their applications. So I shared with you last week and aiming for you to screen the application and see who were ideal to bring in. So just reinforcing how important is for you to go through and check and talk to these potential members. And we are going to also do this process of when we have this, we are going to get in contact with those that are not selected for now. If none are, yeah, receive it. Thank you very much. We are not, we are going to contact in the future if the case and so on, so on. We can give a proper format into that, okay? One thing that I am, as I was talking, I remembered is that we are going to automate this as well. Okay, we are going to automate this as well as a notification in the group channel with these applications. So you can go there more constantly and have the assessment on the potential circle members. So yeah, let's not get too static into circle members. Let's refresh and bring new people, refresh ideas, increase diversity as well, as it's important. And again, we are growing in numbers and we are aiming for this as well. So probably more and more and more work to do and tasks to perform. So more people is very welcome. Okay. Thank you very much. And again, if you have any questions about these applications or something like this, which the onboarding soon to be Circle is also working on this, and I'm quite happy to have them on top of it. Okay. I guess my list is finished. Thank you very much, everyone. If you have any questions about anything that I said, now is the time. Please.
I guess no question.
Cardozo, yeah, with you.
Well, thank you, Rafael. Thank you also, Victor, for your presentation. Also looking forward to see that once again presented here. I think these presentations help, and then we have the recording to send to people if they need a step-by-step guide. So yeah, I would love to see that in a future all ends. Probably I think is the event that fits better into this kind of topic, probably.
And by the way, sorry, JP is here, right? Recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. JP, if you could please put the link in the recording, the link to the JIP funding book, please. In the image for people to know when we talk about, okay? When editing.
All right, great. Also, Anthony, you're here from the work group. I think we are kind of running out of time today. We were seeing if we could have some time to fit you in, but you also said it would be okay to be on the next open all hands or even in the next tunnel. Is that okay with you, Anthony?
Yes, perfectly okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's great we are looking forward to see what the documentation work group is doing. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Jan, you have your hand up?
Yeah, so we have now consensus on the schedule. So that means that next week we will do the health yearly cycle. That is an intermediate, an extra all hands next week. And then the week after, we'll have our regular all hands, and then we will be discussing the topic that I addressed earlier, rethinking the reward system and what would your circle's preference be. I can imagine that when you are talking about looking back and looking forward in terms of the health yearly cycle, looking also, making your estimates, etc. This might be a topic that will be proper to discuss in that context as well. But then you have an extra week to think about it properly. And yeah, looking forward to all your opinions on that 2 weeks from now. And I'm looking forward very much on your presentations next week.
Ayo?
Yeah, I just want to ask if this means that we are not going to have the monthly retrospective, because if we have 22nd for half-yearly presentations, and then we are having today is 15, so 29th is supposed to be another all ends, which is usually supposed to be for the January retrospective. If we are saving that day for these discussions, is it as an added agenda, or is it replacing the January retrospective?
Yeah, that crossed my mind as well. I purposefully didn't mention it. I wanted to leave it to the event circle to be in charge of the agenda for that week. I would like this topic to be discussed. Whether we need, so 2 questions. I don't know whether we need the whole meeting for that or not. Probably we can. There might be a lot of discussion, but maybe we don't need to. Also, don't know what the appetite is in that week to go for the monthly updates when we just did the healthly yearly ones. It's a little bit different thing, a little bit different perspective and outlook. Both things would work for me. I'll leave it to you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Ian. So, in the spirit of that, I would just say, I assume, and safely assume that what circles do in January still relevant. So, I would like to say that circles should expect that we'll still like to have the retrospective. Presentations the presentations are a different question. The documentation is also something else. So we'd like to have the reports, and then we can see how to go about with the presentations. All right. Thank you.
Rubio, please. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ayo.
I just want to say maybe months when we're doing half yearly reports, we don't need to do presentations for the monthly report for that one. We can only fill the monthly report, and probably because somehow I feel maybe that would somehow join in probably what you're doing in the monthly report, in your monthly half yearly presentation. So some of that might also infuse in there. So I would want to suggest that any month we are probably having half yearly reports, then presentations for that month may not be important. You just have to do the reports and submit. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. Those were my exact thoughts. Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a good way of stealing. Very important if we are only filling the reports, we have to find a way of distributing these to everyone to have access and being able to read, since they are not going to a call to listen about. Okay, perhaps get in contact with the marketing circle and see how to distribute this properly. Not only throwing in the channel on Mattermost. Throwing is posting.
All right, thank you. Noted, Raphael. Thank you.
Well, thank you for this nice conversation, everyone. At the end, good to see community inputs. And we are reaching the half-hour mark, and we are reaching the end of this Open All Ends. So thank you all for being here. I guess congratulations to all of you as we reach a new milestone in terms of attendance. So yeah, it's all your merit, community, for being here. And I think we discussed some really important topics. Hopefully we'll have a very exciting 2025 for Leap Funding and for all of us. And I hope to see you here next week for half-yearly reports and eventually town halls. So next week we have a lot of places to gather as a community, which is going to be interesting. Well, thank you everyone. Bye bye and have an awesome week.
You. Bye.
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 Great start of the
Thank
year.
you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye, everyone.